Hello everyone, my name is Asyrafchazz and welcome back to yet another One Piece card game video. And this video, we're going to be talking all about Baroque Works. Now, there's been a couple of Baroque cards that have been revealed, and I know I said this in the previous video that I'm going to make a video about this guy once he's been revealed, and he's finally revealed. It is none other than Mr. Two Bonchan himself, Mr. Bon Clay, and I cannot wait to talk about this card. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing if you can, if you want to keep up to date with more One Piece card game news. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at the first card, which is actually Mr. Tree. So this is Mr. Tree, Galdino. He costs 2, has 3000 power, part of the special attribute and part of Baroque Works. First of all, this card's artwork is damn solid. I mean, like, it really shows like he's like that cunning, sinister look, and I really do dig it. And his ability is on play. If your leader is Baroque Works type, target one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters. Until the end of your opponent's turn, next turn, that character cannot attack. It also has counter 1000. This is a stacks piece in a body. This is actually one of a very strong ability in my opinion, because it's just on play. You don't need to attach Dawn, or you don't need to do Dawn minus stuff to have this effect work. Being it 2 cost 3000, yeah, it's kind of low, but at the same time you can always bump it up with Dawn, so it's okay. But to kind of lock out one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower character until the end of the next turn and make it so that it cannot attack, then it's really good. And don't forget that Crocodile's leader ability is you can return one of a character cards from the field back to the owner's hand, meaning you can return this card back to your hand and play it again to lock out one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters until the end of your opponent's next turn, which is so good. I mean, like, it's just gonna be a super annoying character to deal with. You just keep playing it again and again. Just make sure your opponent can't attack. You start to like affect your opponent's board in a different way by either attacking with your leader or using like various event cards. But I think this card does seem to be very strong, and like, it's just super annoying. You know, Candle Lock, that's what people on the Discord were saying, that it's a very good reference to Candle Lock, his ability. And you know what, I can't wait to see, like, maybe we have a stage cards with the Candelabra found, like, you know, during the Little Garden arc, and can't wait to see that in the future as well. So I'm really excited. Mr. Tree seems like it's a really strong card. But let's talk about the next one, which is my favorite character of all time. Not of all time, but it's one of my favorite characters of all time. It's Mr. Two Bonchan. Oh man, first of all, this artwork is just perfect for him. Like, the artists really do a wonderful job. I love it so much. I'm kind of bummed that it's an uncommon, so that it might not be foil. It's still a really great artwork, and I love it so much. So let's talk about the card first. Mr. Two is cost 3, 4000 power, the striker attribute, part of the Baroque Works. His ability is Dawn 1. When attacking, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 Baroque Works type event card and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order, and it has counter 2000. So not only is the artwork great, its ability is great too. Like, it is only like Dawn 1, that means it's automatically at 5k power, and its ability activates every time he attacks with a Dawn attached to him. And it's a searcher. You can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and see an event, a Baroque Works event card, and add to your hand. So if they are really strong like Baroque Works event cards in the future, which we'll talk about later on after this, you can add it to your hand and kind of set up on your turn to see and set up on your turn, and you can constantly just keep looking for cards. This card is great because it's a card advantage card. As long as you have an event type in Baroque Works in the top 5, you will always get card advantage whenever he attacks. Now, it's not as strong as like whenever this card attacks, draw a card, but it's still a very strong effect because it lets you search for the specific card that you need in a certain situation, which is great. So the Mr. Two, super awesome. I wish his ability kind of played along his played with his Devil Fruit ability in a little bit, but you know what, I still think it's a strong card. And the fact that he has counter 2000, which means if you return this card to your hand and you can save it for a counter, or if you have many, like if you already have a Mr. Two on the field and you don't need to play out another one, you can always keep it in your hand for that counter ability, which I feel is really, really great. Definitely a staple in the Baroque Works type of deck. Really quite exciting. I can't wait to see if there's going to be a dedicated Crocodile leader of the main set, not counting the starter deck one. Maybe a multicolored Crocodile Leader coming soon. Blue purple maybe. I don't know, let's see. Next up we have Sables, which is the event card from the blue starter deck. So it costs 4, part of the 7 Warlords of the Sea, and also Baroque Works, which is pretty cool. Its ability is main, return a character with cost 7 or less to its owner's hand, and its trigger ability is activate this card's main effect. Now, this card isn't as strong as, like, I would say Gomu Gomu no Jet Pistol, where you can immediately just KO something that's 6,000 power or less. But if it's an annoying threat, like, you know, that 7-drop Eustace Kid from the green starter deck, you can just return it back to the hand. You don't have to worry about it. So it does have some use in that regard. Bouncing cards back to your opponent's hand and delaying them for a turn, it's a great tempo play. And the fact that if you trigger this from your life, you can activate it for free. It's really good. So I think it does have some use, and you can search this card from Mr. 2's ability because it is part of the Baroque Works as well. Definitely a useful card in the future, and I think we're pretty close to the full deck list for the blue, or at least the green and blue starter deck. So just a little bit more, we'll have full deck list and we can play it for ourselves. I'm really excited about that. And last but not least, we have Mr. 1 Does Bones. He is from the main set. So he costs 2, has 3,000 power with the Slasher attribute, and he's part of the Baroque Works, and his ability is Dawn 1 during your turn. If your leader is Baroque Works type, for every 2 event cards in your trash, this character gains plus 1,000 power. It also has counter 1,000. So this guy gets 1,000 power boost for every 2 event cards in your trash. Now, I think this card might be an unexpected finisher, just because, like, let's say you're just being really defensive at the start of the game, like you're just holding on for attacks, just using your event cards as much as you can. And notice that it doesn't say for every 2 Baroque Work types event card, it just counts event cards itself. So if there's like a multicolored leader with blue and another color, you can kind of have access to more event cards. Even if you're playing like mono blue, you can have like the Lovelife beams and the Sables card that we saw earlier, and as long as it's in your trash, this character gains plus 1,000 power. So if you have, like, let's say 6 event cards in your trash, this character immediately just gains 3,000 power just like that. And I think it's really strong for just 2 costs. You can play it early game, you can play it late game, and I think it's pretty good. It is extremely situational for now because we don't know, we don't have a lot of blue event cards as of yet, but we do have that 1-drop Searcher for the Baroque Work. So, you know, if you're constantly using that, you can have like 4 of that in your trash right there. So I'm excited to see more of this card in the future. And, you know, I think the Baroque Works type deck is kind of shaping up to be a really strong contender to be one of the most powerful decks out there, given that all the cards that we see, we haven't seen, like, just we're missing a few pieces of the puzzle, like maybe a strong Crocodile finisher. But once we have that, it's gonna be like super sweet, and I can't wait to see more. Well, that's all the Baroque Works type card reveals for this video. There are a few cards that I've missed, but, you know, if I feel like it's worth talking about, I will make a video on them. I do have another video coming out soon that is based on another teaching tour that I went, but this time I'm just going as a participant, so I'm really excited to share that with y'all, just to kind of subdue your FOMO a little bit. Don't worry, your turn will come soon for the English release players, and I can't wait for you guys to share in the joy that we in Southeast Asia or Asia Pacific have. Hopefully you guys get to touch and experience the card game soon, and I'm really excited for every single one of y'all. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like and subscribing if you can. And that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.